Excuse me. Good evening. I did the camping thing last night. Okay, you can come in a minute. I did the camping thing last night, and so I was not able to film this morning. I'll be back to filming in the morning tomorrow, and I kind of considered not doing this evening's reading and just doing two tomorrow separately or even in the same, filming session, but I don't know. I've done this so far for 27 days in a row, and I think I'm going to just keep doing that to the best of my ability, right? Okay. August 30th. Tough counts. Dorothy Resnicek. There's an obvious connection between depression and self-esteem. The more depression we experience, the more difficulty we usually have in retaining a positive sense of self. Depression is flattening. It could actually be called a spiritual steamroller. Many excellent books have been written on the causes and cures of depression in all of its many faces and degrees. In spite of their various approaches, all of them agree that courage is necessary in dealing with depression. It takes toughness to win. When all of the strategizing is done, all of the information gained, what is left is simply the call for stamina and grit. Even when going on is the last thing in the world we may want or feel able to do. It takes enormous courage to make a simple affirmation when we feel the world is coming down around our ears. To get out to a meeting when all we want to do is sleep or cry is sheer bravery, and nothing less. To reach out when all we want to do is isolate may take the heroism of a Medal of Honor winner. When all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. When all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. I've got sunburn. I just realized that. When all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. I have an overabundance of both depression and toughness. My first major depressive episode happened when I was 14 years old, and I had moved to the basement of my home. I made my own bedroom. I wanted my own bedroom, so I turned the basement into my bedroom, and I wasn't getting enough sunlight. And I started isolating and became extremely depressed, and at a certain point I realized that nobody was going to help me if I didn't help myself. So I began to intentionally counter the negative thoughts that came into my mind with, at first, I couldn't do positive thoughts. I had to do realistic thoughts. So when I said to myself, I'm the ugliest girl in the world, I would say, statistically, that's impossible. Especially when you have, perfect health. That doesn't make sense. I don't have any friends. Nobody loves me. Well, Caroline, if you picked up the phone and actually called your friends and stopped ignoring them, perhaps you would be able to, continue bonding with these people you care about. Stuff like that. And so I talked and thought myself out of my first major depressive episode because I didn't enjoy it. But depression is self-propagating, and to a certain extent, it kind of feels good. It feels really good to just wallow some days and just sit around and be powerless and allow the universe to kind of just wash over and pass by and not contribute or commit to living, even though you're not committed to dying, even though I wasn't committed to dying either. And I have had to do that dredging myself out of depression thing multiple times in my life, and because of the circumstances around this plague situation that has happened and the way that it has impacted my life, even though things have not really changed negatively, I was in an expansion of myself in my life before, the plague hit. I was ready to move back out into humanity and be a person again, and then the whole world shut down, and it felt like I was being told, no, you aren't allowed to do that, really, not in the way that you want. And so I am, actually, in a minor depressive episode right now that I am managing, because I'm a parent and I have to, and working my way out of at my own pace, because I have no guarantee that any of this is going to end anytime soon. The plague situation. And when all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. My depression is partially chemical, but I eat all the right things, and I do all the right stuff, and I have health, and I'm grateful for my life and all these things that I have, and my own ability to survive. I'm extremely proud and grateful of my own toughness. It is one of my favorite traits about myself, is that I can and will survive anything. The source of my personal depression is until. I can and will survive literally anything. Until. And then I die. Either way, even if I live a long and productive and healthy life, I'm still gonna die. I have no control over that. And I don't control what happens when I die. It's literally about control for me. And that kind of depression can't be cured. Can't be medicated. It cannot be talk therapied out of. There is no advice. I have sought the wise sages. I have investigated religion. I've looked for the answer to solving the problem of death itself. And in the process, I've become really comfortable with death as a process and decay. I am okay with it. And meanwhile, I am still tough. And I am, God, thank God that I have the toughness to survive everything that has happened and will happen, even though eventually there's an until. When all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. And what it is a weapon against is succumbing to my depression. It's literally it. That's literally all toughness is. You don't have to be particularly tough to survive trauma. You just have to wait, and it ends eventually. Or you die, right? You don't have to be particularly tough to... Okay, I will. You don't have to be particularly tough to be an adequate parent. You just have to love your child, and there's a certain softness in that required. But toughness helps when you're by yourself. Okay, I will. Or you can in just a second. You don't have to be particularly tough to do anything, really, in life. You just have to be adequate at and have a strong intention. Adequate. You have to be adequate at stuff. And you have to have strong intention that you're going to finish the thing or do the thing. Toughness is literally my best weapon against my own depression. Okay. I have to go tend to the child. And these evening readings are... There's a lot of this. And these evening readings. Okay, hold on. When all is said and done, toughness may be my best weapon. And I have personally found that to be exceedingly true. And I have a perverse sense of pride in that, but also, maybe I can tough my way out of death. I don't think so. That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's not drift off into that, My camping trip was camping. I didn't realize that wet was a time frame. I just didn't. I mean, it makes sense, but nature's a little ghetto. I'm not gonna lie. But it is also beautiful and exceedingly tough in and of itself. It was enjoyable. I'm gonna go take care of my tough little child. Have a good night and see you in the morning.